Good morning. So just trying to share a few things about the Silverado EV that aren't out there that I have found. So we just picked this up on Thursday. We've had it 2 days now. Just driven it around town a little bit. We're loving it. We're gonna go on our first trip this morning, a Sunday morning, to Murfreesboro. We live in Chattanooga, so about a 2-hour trip. Mon Eagle Mountain's in between, but otherwise it's pretty flat for East and Middle Tennessee. So just wanted to share a few things with that. The goal here is to just give overall impressions, how it's going. There's a new GM Pilot charger on Mon Eagle, so on the way back we're going to stop and charge for the first time there. Try it. It opened only 2 weeks ago. And also I'll try to drive about a 10-hour segment going 55, 65, 75, and give you an idea of what kind of range or miles per kilowatt hour we're getting on the truck. So I'll show you real quick my setup here. All right, so I had a basement garage. Did another video with the camper a few days ago. I was going to get a Cybertruck. So I have a Tesla charger that I installed. We own a Model 3 upstairs. But this one is working with a adapter on the end. I have a nephew who was going to get a Chevy Bolt who bought a juice box charger. He wound up, the Bolt was not available. So he wound up getting a Model Y, and I've talked to him yesterday and he is interested in swapping chargers. So hope to do that in the next few weeks, and he can have this Tesla charger and I'll get the juice box charger, and neither one of us have to use a adapter anymore on a daily basis. So this is 4WT. Really like it. It's got good styling for a work truck, and it's been comfortable actually, and like the cruise and those kind of things so far. But today will be our first trip, and it'll be a 4-hour round trip. We're going to Murfreesboro, go to church with our son and his wife, and then we're gonna stop in Cowan on the way back. It's at the base of Mon Eagle to have lunch with Tanya, my wife's parents. So that's the itinerary for today, and we'll let you see some things as we're going. So attempted to charge to 100%, didn't quite get it going early enough. It is on 100%, but it still says it's topping off and needs 45 minutes to do that. And I have to get the key to get it started. Okay, so once got the truck started, still plugged in, but we've got 169 miles on the truck, so brand new. We're at showing 100%, as you saw earlier. Not quite there, still topping off. And it is showing a range of 467 miles. And we're getting ready to go. I'm gonna reset the trip info on trip 2, and we will get started. Okay, we're cruising down the interstate, heading to Murfreesboro. Overall impressions of the truck: it drives really well. I like the Smart Cruise, is very good. Not a fan of the lane keep assist. Maybe I just need to try it some more and get used to it. But Tanya, what are your impressions of the truck?
I like it. Comfortable seats, travels well. Getting used to a new truck. You got new things you don't know where to find, what to do, but overall I like it.
So we're coming from an 06 F-150 crew cab. This feels bigger, even though we parked them next to each other. The dimensions are very similar, but it feels bigger, a little bulkier outside, and inside, like our elbows never touch in here. It's pretty far over.
Oh, lots of room.
And we would touch, our elbows would touch some in the other truck. It just wasn't as wide feeling. And then the seats are comfortable. Yeah, they're not leather, but they're comfortable. Similar to our Model 3 seats, it seems like. The back seat is huge. It's almost comically huge. You can't hardly even get your feet under the seat in front of you.
Oh, I love the space though. I mean, you can fit whatever you need to back there. The seat's raised. You can use it as a storage space, and it's roomy up here, and lots of cup holders. You got places to put things.
So our old F-150 was starting to have trouble with the air conditioner. We've had a hot summer here in Tennessee, and so it's left us hot a few times on trips. It's been intermittent. We've taken it in. They haven't figured it out, but this air works really good. I have to turn it up because we get cold, and so it's great to have good air and feel cool on these hot days. So one issue we're having already is I wanted to do some trip information, and the screen has locked up. I won't show any trip information. I'll show you what that screen looks like. Tanya looked up on Google how to reset, but you have to pull over and park and wait for it to reset. We're kind of on a time crunch this morning, so we'll try that on the way back, try to reset and hopefully get trip information. Now the Google Maps, Google is really good with maps, and it works really good with the truck. And it's given us estimated charge state when we get there, 66%. We'll see how accurate that is as we go. I can't give you any stats on miles per kilowatt hour because I can't get to the screen. But overall, very pleased with it, and we're happy with the purchase. Try to go to vehicle information, and this is where you would go to see trip information. The regular, speedometer and all of that is working, but I can't go into Google Maps, and those kind of things still work, but can I get trip info to come up? And Tanya Googled how to do that, and you have to hold down the phone end button for 15 seconds while you're in park, and then I think you have to wait until it reboots before you can drive again. So we'll do that later. That's a software glitch, and not happy about that. So we got here, and we've got 71% on the battery. Google was estimating that we would have 64. This is saying we averaged 2 miles per kilowatt hour. Can't show you anything on the trip because it's still locked up. We'll try to figure that out later. So we did a factory reset. Our trip was 124 miles, 2 miles per kilowatt hour, a little over 2-hour drive. We'll update this on the way home, try to do the different speeds and efficiencies. Here's the efficiency going 75 for about 10 miles, so 1.7 miles per kilowatt hour. Quick update, we were not on 100%, but we were very close. Gone 201.5 miles 50%. So that implies that we could get 402 miles or so total. Here we are at a GM Pilot Flying J Charger, and this one has been in service for about 2 weeks, so we're going to try it out and see if it works. Let you guys know how it goes. Charging session will not work. We've tried 2 chargers over here. We're going to move and try the 3rd one. There's a Rivian charging at the 4th. We'll see how it goes. Alright, it's charging now. We had an old credit card on the account, so we tried 3 or 4 times, but we're getting about 173 kilowatts, 49% state of charge, and things seem to be working fine. It says Silverado EV can't get over 4 miles per kilowatt hour. This is coming down Mon Eagle. We charged at the top. Alright, here we are 10 miles into our 65 mile per hour test. 2.2 miles per kilowatt hour. Here we are at 10 miles and going 55 and only 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour. It was a little bit more hilly up and down in this section, but that's what it is. We finished our 4-hour trip this morning, got back this afternoon. A few bug guts on the front, evidence of journey. Interesting that the cooling is running while it's charging after we got back, and I'll show you the miles per kilowatt hour and give you some final thoughts. Okay, you can see that we went 268 miles per kilowatt hour, 2.1. I would say this trip was mostly interstate, 5% off the road, and the interstate was pretty much 70 miles per hour most of the way, and we drove about that on average. So pretty good miles per kilowatt hour. You can see I am charging at 6 now. It was at 9 before I got in and the air came on. I will say that, I'll say that I'll give you final thoughts here in just a minute. All right, final thoughts on our first trip in the Silverado EV 4WT. This morning the trip was comfortable. The truck drove great. Enjoyable truck to drive. It seems a little bigger than an F-150, so getting used to it. Sight lines are a little different, but not bad. And the interstate driving was good. I actually tried the lane keep assist a few more times. I could see it being helpful on a long trip. It's a little aggravating just on daily driving, those kind of things. Disappointed in the operating system not letting us be able to see our trip information until we did a reset about halfway through. That did work. We didn't lose our trip information. And you can see we got 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour on average. I did do a 10 mile, not 10 hour, short test at 3 different speeds, 55, 65, and 75. Surprisingly, there wasn't much difference between 55 and 65. You know, it could have been terrain difference, but it sure didn't look like much difference between those 2 speeds. I don't know if the aero of the truck just helps between those speeds or not, but there was a big difference between 65 and 75. So I think the faster you go over that 70 mark, you're going to really pay a penalty for miles per kilowatt hour, because it went from 2.2 at 65 all the way down to 1.7 at 75. We drove just a little bit of back roads. Truck handled really well. Be easy to drive fast in this truck because it's got the torque and it handles well. Fairly smooth. You can feel some of the bumps. Seats are comfortable in this work truck. They're plenty soft and cushy, that kind of stuff, but I will say my back got a little hot at times, but not bad. Some people may find that uncomfortable. The AC is very good right now, so it gets us very cool, so you can stay cool with the AC on easily. We enjoyed the trip, and things worked well besides the one reset that we had to do, and we both enjoyed the trip and got to show it to our son and my wife's parents, and both of them liked the truck. Again, they're probably being nice, but you know, her dad is kind of anti-EV, but he liked the truck. And our son is 29 and likes it, not necessarily likes EVs or anything, but liked the truck and everything about the truck, like the styling and those kind of things. All right, so appreciate you checking in, and see you next time. Two things forgot to mention. One, about 3/4 way through the trip, we had a message come up that our truck requires service. Didn't give us much information on what that was about. So we're gonna call and see if we need to take it into the service shop to have something checked on it, but it kept working fine. Second thing is we did try to charge at one of the new GM Pilot chargers. We spent probably 15 minutes trying to get it to work, moved to the third charger, and finally figured out, hey, it didn't have the credit card info. It had an old credit card in the EVgo account. So once we got that corrected, it charged well and went all the way up to 176, something like that, kilowatts, and about 50% state of charge. I will comment on some folks have had trouble running the air conditioning while charging. We tried that. It was mid 80s when we were doing this. So when we got in the truck, turned the air on, it immediately went down to about 30 kilowatts. It was charging at 170, but it started ramping back up fairly quickly and then ramped all the way back up to 170. So it did dip down, but did not stay there, went back up. Again, it was in the mid 80s. So don't know if that was a factor or not, but it worked with the air conditioner on from that point on, which we left pretty soon after that.